Welcome back to Podband Pipecast.
The premier pipe band podcast. Hello. Happy Spooktober, by the way.
Yes. Time to get spooky.
It's spooky time. We should be wearing, I don't know. Spooky, I don't know. Alex is a very good editor. Please edit in some spooky stuff on the screen. Wow, look at all that spooky stuff. If you were subscribed to our Patreon at patreon.com/podbandpipecast, you will be able to see all the spooky stuff on the screen right now.
It's gonna be very spooky, so
yeah,
be warned.
He puts a lot of fun Easter eggs in our episodes, by the way, if you ever watch the videos. You're missing out if you don't, so that's our shameless plug. Yeah, so we hope you enjoyed our fun little last few episodes. They're kind of something different. This is a more podcasty episode.
Podcast episode on a podcast?
I know. What is the deal?
Wild.
I feel like this is one of those, when I was thinking about this episode, talking about it, I was like, I feel like this is one of those episodes that's a real, I don't know, such a deep podcasty thing. We're going to talk about appreciation. Wow.
And feelings.
We're going to talk about our feelings.
Yeah.
And I know we just turned off a bunch of people. They just left, right? We're not allowed to talk about feelings. Get out of here.
We spooked people with the spooky things, and now we're spooking them with feelings. It's a true Spooktober spectacular.
Yeah, if you weren't spooked by the spooky things you saw on the screen, now you'll be spooked by the feelings. It's perfect.
Yeah.
But also, I feel like we can't be really spooked by anything anymore because it's 2020 and we're just expecting it at this point.
Yeah, jinx it.
That's true. I shouldn't say that. Well, anyway, so appreciation, right? And we were talking about this because I'm sure you guys have heard of the 5 love languages. If you haven't, it's this whole thing, and it used to be on Facebook. Remember when they had all those Facebook quizzes? Remember when that was a thing for
throwback
a year or two? Anyway, that's showing how old we are. I mean, Facebook is not really that old, but think about it. Anyway, so there's this idea that this guy had. I don't know his name. I should know his name right now. Hold on. Gary, my buddy Gary Chapman.
Good old Gary Chapman.
Good old Gary Chapman had this idea that certain people show in a relationship, they show their love different ways. They show some people will buy their significant other lots of gifts. Maybe you have a significant other that gets you flowers every day, and that's just cool, that's just what they do. That's how they say that they love you. Or maybe you have some significant other who just literally says, hey, guess what? I love you every day. And that's wonderful. So there's this whole theory that he developed on the 5 different ways that people show their love. And then he also realized the same thing happens at work because, well, I guess now it's different because a lot of us are working from home. But back in the day when we used to be in the office.
Back in my day, we used to go to work.
Back in the good old times before March, you used to actually spend more time with your coworkers than you did with your significant other, which is crazy to think about. And, I'm not saying you love your coworkers. Sometimes you can hate your coworkers. But, my buddy Gary, he's not actually my buddy, I don't actually know him. But he noticed that people in the workplace show their appreciation in different ways. And if you're not appreciated at work, you hate your job and then you leave. Makes sense, because if you're not appreciated, you feel like what you're doing doesn't matter. and you don't matter to the people at your work, and why are you there? Or you just keep working your job anyway, just to get a paycheck, and then you're miserable, and then everyone's unhappy. And it's a bad time.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. So, Gary has this whole theory, Mr. Chapman, I should
My
say.
buddy Gary Chapman.
My buddy Gary. He has this whole theory about, the languages that we use at work, and they're actually the same as the ones that we use in our personal relationships, except for the physical. There's one called physical touch, where some significant others are more physical, like they hug you all the time, and they're like, that's how they show their love. That doesn't really fly so well at work. It kind of is a thing, like it's like high fives are a thing, hugs can be a thing, but like especially now with COVID, it's not really focused on as much. It's hard to do, especially when you're working from home. So yeah. But anyway. So what we're gonna do is on this episode, we're gonna talk about the languages of appreciation in pipe band.
Ooh.
And you might be saying, like, why? Do I need to feel appreciated in pipe band? Well, yeah, because otherwise you feel like what you're doing doesn't matter, and then you don't come to practice. You don't tune into the weekly Zoom session or whatever is going on right now. And like, to be honest, like for how many people is that the case? Like, I know for our band, we still have a good number of people who are still like doing stuff and still being active and everything. But there's still like a lot of people who, are not as engaged as they were before. And maybe part of it has to do with appreciation. And that's okay, because you think about it and like, think about being at pipe band or being at a pipe band event. When was a time when you really felt like what you were doing mattered? Like, for some people, it's like, oh, I feel like I did a good job when I get a trophy, when I win a contest, or when I get a score sheet back from a judge and it says like, good job, or like positive comment. All that's gone now. We haven't had that like all year, and we're not gonna have that for a while, which is kind of scary to think about. Like, even if the first competition we have is in maybe March next year, well, if we can't get everyone together for physical practices until January, maybe, then are we really going to be competing in March? I don't know about that.
Probably not.
Probably not, but like, I don't know.
See what happens.
But I think, and that's kind of going off on like a different tangent, but like, I feel like none of us are appreciating ourselves or appreciating our other band members or, your leaders or whatever as much as we used to, or in the same ways as we used to. And that can be a tough thing, because as we talk about the languages of appreciation, which we'll do in a minute, you'll see a lot of them are very tough to do virtually. We can do it though. It will be okay. It'll be okay. We're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's jump in. What are the languages of appreciation?
Words of affirmation, tangible gifts, quality, time, acts of service.
Yeah. I put those.
And what does that mean? Oh, wait, why is that for? Oh, did you remove the touching one?
Yeah, I took out the touching one just because, like, it is a thing, but it's also not a thing. I don't know. Personally, I hate when people touch me. Any people for any reason. Except for, like, my husband. It's like, even like a pat on the back. It's just like, why? I know, but I understand, like, a lot of people, that's very meaningful to them, and they like hugs and they like, various things, and that's fine. I can get over it, but you'll notice as we talk about these, you usually have one that's like really strong, like your primary language, and then you have another one that's like also, use that one a lot too. And then there's usually one that like you do not want or that doesn't mean anything to you. And you can notice which is your language of appreciation by like what you do for other people to show them you appreciate them, and then what you want people to do for you. So let's talk about each one, and then we can like discuss what that means for pipe band. So what is words of affirmation?
Words of affirmation. People with words of affirmation as a love language value verbal acknowledgement of affections, including I love yous, compliments, words of appreciation, verbal encouragement, and often frequent digital communications like texting and social media engagement.
In terms of appreciation, when someone tells you, hey, you did a good job, that's, yeah, or they say thanks for doing this thing for me. That, you know, that's words, using words to literally say good job. In pipe band, could be the thing like we were saying with the judge writing on the score sheet, like, hey, nice slow air, good job, musical set. When we did our Family Feud survey, that was one of the things that came up, that like, what is the, I forget what the question was, but it was
What
like,
would you want to see on a score sheet, I think?
yeah, what would you want to see on a score sheet? We got all kinds of nice things like, oh, good job, or some people were more specific, like, Channer's in tune. And if you have been struggling like with that all morning on your competition day and the judge writes that on the sheet, you're just like, yes, I feel appreciated. Yeah, so it could also be like if you're doing a run through of your set at a band rehearsal, and you get done and the pipe major is like, hey, good job in the jig. That was the best time I've ever heard you play the jig. And it's like, oh, that's nice. Some of this, like people who like the words of affirmation thing can be kind of into like other people being around when the words are told about them. So like kind of not like public humiliation, but like
appreciation.
Yeah, public appreciation. So now everyone in the band knows that you know how to play the jig. And that's good. So some people that like is really like that would make their day more than anything. I make them feel like all that practice time was worth it. So that's words. Obviously, sorry, what?
Those are words.
Those are words. Them's words.
Them's the words.
Obviously, a lot of that is hard now because like the public appreciation thing, because first of all, how does your like section leader know that you're playing well if they can't hear you because you're all on a Zoom call and the audio is bad? And like, so we're not really getting, if you're a words person, you might not be getting all the words of appreciation that you normally would or that you would want. So that's sad.
Yeah. So quality time is for people who feel the most adored when their partner actively wants to spend time with them and is always down to hang out. They particularly love when active listening, eye contact, and full presence are prioritized hallmark in the relationship.
So it's literally spending quality time. In the workplace, this could be like if you go to talk to your boss about something and like they're like, okay, they're sitting at their desk and they like are looking at you, actually listening to what you're saying. And the inverse of that is like, so that would make you feel appreciated, but the inverse of that is like you're trying to talk to your boss, but your boss is just like on their computer the whole time, like not even looking at you, not listening to you. They're not like spending quality time with you right now. They just kind of want you to say what you're going to say and get out, right? That makes you not feel appreciated. Could also be like shared experiences of people. So in pipe band, I think we get that a lot. Like, first of all, if you're at practice, if you're paying attention when someone else is talking and they can tell you're paying attention, that's quality time. Or it could be like hanging out after practice at the bar, or like hanging out on a break and like with someone, spending some time with someone that you haven't talked to in a while. Or it could be at going to the beer tent. We learned about that on our
Where's the
last
beer
episode. um, and like hanging out with people at the beer tent, just spending quality time with people. That's quality time. Shared experiences, group time, could be, usually it's a small number of people where you can actually spend the time with each person, which is much more like, this one's my secondary one, because I appreciate, I hate more than anything when I'm trying to talk to someone at work and they're like on their phone. I'll just like stop talking and like look at them. And like in Zoom meetings, you can tell if someone, like the way they're looking, like they're not actually paying attention to what you're saying, they're actually like typing or something. It's like, you're not listening. Yeah. Next one.
Acts of service. This is when you value when your partner goes out of their way to make your life easier. It's things like bringing you soup when you're sick, making you coffee in the morning, or picking up your dry cleaning for you when you've had a busy day at work.
Yeah, this is my number one. If you can do something for me that is useful, that's very nice. I like that.
This one was tied for third place for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's so funny. It's funny because like at work, if I notice someone is busy and someone is stressed out, that's what I'll do. I'll be like, hey, can I help you with something? And oftentimes they'll be like, no, I just need to be left alone. I'll be like, cool. But like that's the first thing I do. Some people would be like, hey, I see you're busy. I just want you to know I appreciate you. Like that would be a words of affirmation thing. But like acts of service is like, what can I do for you? And I like, so we watched this webinar. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier.
I don't think I did.
A webinar about this, like how this applies to work. And one of the things about acts of service that they said was like getting lunch for someone. And that's kind of like, you might think it's tangible gifts, which is going to be the next one we talk about. But if you think about it, if someone is having a super busy day and they can't even get away from their desk to make themselves lunch or to order lunch or go get lunch, then you come up to them and say, hey, I'm going to Taco Bell. Do you want something from Taco Bell? That's like, they don't have to think about what to do for lunch. You're doing like a service for them. Yeah. Which can happen with pipe band too. Like, who wants to stand in line for fish and chips? No one wants to stand in that line.
Or that could be quality time standing in line with someone.
That's true. We've had some pretty good times standing in line trying to get lunch. And it's hot and
we're all miserable together.
Yeah. I miss being miserable with everyone else. But yeah, acts of service, anything you can do for someone else. When we're like tuning up, ready for like to play a contest and it's freaking hot and there's people who aren't competing who go around with water bottles, like passing out water bottles, that's an acts of service thing. Because they're doing a nice thing and we're all dying.
They don't have to do that. They could sit under the shade of the tent, but nope, they are being kind and passing out water.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But once again, acts of service, what are you going to do? What are you going to do when we live on Zoom? I don't know. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about that in a minute, what you can do now in our virtual world.
Yeah.
All right.
Gifts. Gifts is when you feel loved, when people give you visual symbols of love, as my buddy Gary calls it. It's not about the monetary value, but the symbolic thought behind the item. People with the style recognize the value of the gift-giving process, the careful reflection, deliberate choosing of the objects to represent the relationship, and the emotional benefits from receiving the present.
Yeah. Presents.
Yay.
So yeah, at work, like if you do a good job and you get a bonus, that's real nice.
I will take that gift.
Yeah. Or if someone gives you a gift card, that's nice. But also, it has to mean something. Like in terms of it has to be a thing that you would appreciate. So if someone gave me a Home Depot gift card, I'd be like, thanks. Can buy some
One of
paper.
one of my friends doesn't like chocolate, and for Valentine's Day, one of her boyfriends got her this big ass box of chocolates, and she gave it to me, and they are no longer together.
See, that's the point. Like, first of all, did she want a tangible gift? Maybe. Second, like, was it meaningful to her? No. So, yeah, I mean, and it can be something small too. Like we were talking about at work, like some companies will just like give you a t-shirt and be like with your company logo on it. Like here you go, here's a gift. Some people love that and some people don't. Because for some people it's their language of appreciation and they're like, oh, I feel appreciated. Or maybe they don't like it because it's their least favorite color and they look bad in that shirt. So uh pipe band, what does that look like for pipe band?
Like when we do our Christmas party, and their trophies and flowers and stuff.
Yeah. So every year, I don't know about this year, but previously on the Mesa Caledonia Pipe Band Adventures, every year at Christmas time, we would do like a yearly like Christmas party, and we'd have awards. We'd give out an award for like the most improved player, like the President's Award, the Pipe Majors Award, Drum Sergeant's Award, all these awards. And some people love that, like because they've been working hard all year, and to finally get like a trophy at the end of the year um, is really nice. Even though if it's not for like a playing reason, it might be like you were a great help in, setting up the canopies at every single Highland game, so you get an award. And some people love that. Or flowers, or another one is like um, if someone buys you a beer. That happens a lot of Highland games. Like, oh hey, I'm gonna buy you a beer because you're my best friend or whatever. Like, that's a tangible gift thing.
Yeah.
So now that I know that this is one of Adela's favorites, I'm gonna just have to buy her beer.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
Or lemonade or whatever.
It's the thought that counts, not peanut butter egg things.
Yeah. Peanut butter is not her thing. I will not get her peanut butter.
Thank you. Tell that to my family. Okay. Alex's mom does this thing where she makes cookies every year for Christmas, and they're always full of peanut butter. And she's always like, "Oh, you don't like peanut butter?" I said, "No, I don't."
Every year.
Every year. And she gives us a big box of them too, and then Alex just eats them all, and we usually end up throwing them away.
So he likes them, but doesn't do you any good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They usually go to waste, which feels bad.
That's almost worse. Like once again, if I got a Home Depot gift card, I would feel bad because I'm like, what am I gonna do with this? I mean, I would give it away to someone else, but like, then I feel bad because I didn't actually use the gift they were trying to give me. So, yeah.
Don't get Kaylee a Home Depot gift card.
That is the one thing you need to learn.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you right now. Don't get me a Home Depot gift card. Unless you hear that we're like remodeling our house or something. I don't know. Like,
You're sending very mixed signals, Kaylee. I don't know what to get you.
well, that's all I can say.
Okay.
We are not currently remodeling our house, nor do we have any plans to. So do not get me a Home Depot gift card.
Got it.
When I am accepting the Home Depot gift cards, I will send out an announcement. So everyone.
Send out a registry for Home Depot gift cards.
Yes. I need 5 of these. So anyway, we've talked about how these things apply to pipe band, and a lot of them, as you can tell, are not happening in our virtual world. And that's not anyone's fault. It's just not happening because of our limitations. And maybe some of them can't happen, but maybe others can happen in different ways. The important thing is, like, first of all, who you should be showing appreciation to, and that is everyone. So, like, you shouldn't just have like your pipe band section leaders show appreciation to everyone else and that's it. Like, you also have to show appreciation to everyone. So if you're a drummer, you got to show appreciation to pipers too. And if you're a piper, you have to appreciate the drummers.
Works both ways.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if like you think they're icky or whatever. Like, you gotta appreciate them. Because otherwise, like, people are like, why am I here? What does this matter? Does what I'm doing matter? They feel like it doesn't matter and then they leave. And that's sad. So let's not do that.
Yes.
So first of all, you have to know what your primary language appreciation is and what your like secondary language is. That's how you normally communicate your language of appreciation. So to figure that out, just think of a time, the last time or whatever, time is confusing right now. Think of a time when you felt like you were appreciated for your hard work with pipe band, or that what you're doing with pipe band matters. Like, it could be anything. It could, what made you be like, I want to keep doing this? So think about that time and think about what is it about that time that could fit into one of those categories. So like I said, if you just really loved getting that trophy, you might be a tangible gifts person. If you really loved when you got to hang out with your buddies all the day at the Highland Games, maybe you're a quality time person, etc. So that's thing number one. Thing number two, how do other people, like people that you're around at pipe band, how do they like to receive appreciation? And are you communicating in their preferred language? Because someone might be like feeling down on themselves and you're like, I just told you you did a good job with the jig. Like, what is wrong with you? And they might be like, yeah, but like, if you really thought I did a good job, you would have given me a gold star. Like, I need a Home Depot gift card. That's exaggerated, but you know what I mean? Like, maybe people who aren't showing up to the Zoom rehearsals every week, maybe they just don't feel appreciated anymore because their appreciation that they always got is just gone now. Like, how do they want appreciation? Sometimes you gotta talk to people to figure it out, which is unfortunate because, you know,
Talking.
people,
Ugh.
human connection. Ugh. Okay, so then, like, so now that you've kind of figured out like a couple people's languages, or not, or whatever, if you just want to prepare, figure out ways that you can show appreciation using all of the languages, which might be difficult, but we got a lot of big brain people out there. Got a lot of smart people. Some of them might even be listening. Maybe you're a smart person. You can do this.
Show that appreciation.
Show that appreciation. Do you need to learn how to crochet so you can crochet a little tartan thing to give to someone who's a tangible gifts person? Do it.
It's not that hard to crochet. I picked it up over quarantine.
There you go. Adela can do it. You can do it too.
Exactly.
Although Adele is very talented, so I don't know if you can do the things she can do.
Well, thank you for those words of affirmation.
You're welcome. Oh, by the way, tangible gifts. Look at this sparkly, you can't see this if you're not on Patreon, but she made this beautiful sparkly cup. Has my name on it. And it says Podband Pipecast, and it is the most sparkly thing I have ever seen. And it's beautiful. So I just want you to know that's a tangible gift. It's not crocheted, but it's a tangible gift. I appreciate it. And yeah,
I'm glad you like it. It took me so long.
it's very nice. I appreciate that a lot.
Good, thank you, thank you.
So yeah, think about what you can do. You don't have to mail crocheted things to your band members if you don't want to. If you want to, go for it.
I'm expecting a crocheted thing from you now.
Oh, I don't know how to crochet. I'm not crafty.
Do it.
What else? I don't know, like, because, okay, so there has been a lot of good things happening in the pipe band world for like online competitions, which I think is super cool. Because that kind of gives you the feeling of like a tangible gift, because maybe you won an award from a competition you were in, or maybe it's a words thing, like maybe you got good feedback from judges, or maybe it's just that they posted the results on Facebook and you got to share it on your Facebook so all your friends can see it, and that's your own like words of affirmation thing. Like all your friends will comment and be like, "Hey, good job," and you're like, "Yay, appreciation." So that's cool. That's a good thing. There's more ideas out there. There's tons of ideas to appreciate.
Yeah.
Could also be like if you're an acts of service person, it could be like someone reaching out to you to say like maybe it's your pipe major or your drum sergeant or whoever and saying like, "Hey, could you take a look at this new drum score that I wrote or this new pipe tune or whatever? Like, let me know what your thoughts are." Or, "Hey, I'm thinking about putting this in our medley next year. We have medleys next year. What do you think?" Like an act of service because they're like asking for something from you. And then you're like, "Oh, I feel so appreciated that they wanted my help." Like that's an act of service thing. I do that to you and Erica all the time. I'm like, "Hey, please help me with this."
That's why it's your number one.
Yeah. It's beneficial for me because like I feel like I'm not working in a bubble. Like I get to connect with you guys, and then I feel like it's beneficial for you guys too. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a pest and getting you to do my work for me. But yeah, or you could maybe reach out to someone and say, "Hey, would you want to practice with me once a week or whatever?" You know, acts of service. Last thing, what is one way we can talk about this? What is one way you wish someone from your band would show their appreciation to you?
I wish you would send me a gold star.
I will do that. I will stick it on an envelope and mail the envelope to you,
Yes, perfect.
along with a Taco Bell gift card.
There we go. She knows me. She gets it.
I get it. I wrote this question not really knowing an answer, thinking that people who are listening to this are going to think about it. Not that you're going to like call people up and like tell them like, "Hey, I need a gift card from you."
Show me you love me by sending me a gift card.
Yeah, but like maybe you're feeling unappreciated and you just need help, and like you just want someone to tell you you're doing a good job. It's okay to ask for that, or to like be like, "Hey, am I really like, is this good? Is my playing good? I need to know." Like that's okay, especially now when we're all kind of in our own little bubble. Like we don't friggin' know if you're playing the right thing. I don't know.
Can't hear it.
Yeah,
Can't see it.
it's okay to not feel appreciated right now. even though you are appreciated, and you need to remember that.
Yes. We appreciate every single one of you that is listening.
Yes. We
If you're
see
not
those
listening,
numbers.
don't.
We see we get the analytics to see how many people download or stream or whatever. I mean, we're not like we're not like gonna try to find you or anything. Like, I'm sure Google could, like, probably could do anything, but we appreciate you, all of you.
Yes.
And yeah, I don't know, I feel like that's a good note to end on.
I agree.
I'm not gonna crochet each one of our followers something, mainly because I don't crochet, not because I don't appreciate you.
Maybe one day maybe our Patreons will get a Christmas present. I don't know.
There you
Maybe.
go. If you appreciate that.
Yeah. We can also send you a thank you video.
Yeah, if you would appreciate the words.
Yes.
Tell us what you appreciate. Tell us what you don't appreciate. Tell us if you don't like peanut butter and someone keeps giving you peanut butter cookies. Everyone, everyone I'm sure has a story.
Yeah.
All right, that's all we got for you today, folks. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you, as always. Yeah.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Bye.
Thanks for listening, everyone. If you enjoyed this show, then support us on Patreon for exclusive content as well as the video of us recording this. We'll have special exercises we'll be writing as well as tips and tricks with tenor drumming and other instruments to come. Subscribe to us on YouTube for some tenor tutorials and possibly other tutorials later on. And like us on Facebook at Podband Podcast.